Good morning, folks. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome, my brothers and sisters in Israel. There's nothing more important than waking up our brothers and sisters in Israel. Why? Well, we're in survival mode. We have been beaten down. We aren't even a remnant anymore. We're a residue. Bible reading is not very popular. You go to the professionals to get a Bible reading, a Bible lesson, and they'll tell you what you need to know. They'll never lie to you either. They'll never twist up the words of the Bible. They'll never tell you half-truths. Sadly, they do all of that. And our lying pastors were prophesied way back by Isaiah. Isaiah wrote, 900 BC or something? He wrote like 3,000 years ago about the lying pastors that speak smooth things. Something about beer is involved in that too. I guess basically Isaiah's saying that they're the perfect pastors for you. It's like a prophet that tells you smooth things you want to hear, flattery. And you get suckered into it every time. I think what we want to cover is the book of Judges again. I rather like this book. I would like to see judges rise in America. Yeah, judges, not these jackasses that are ruling from the bench today. Although I have to admit there's some judges making some really good decisions lately. I'm amazed. Some of these judges are female judges and they got more courage than the men do. They seem to be making the right calls. But I don't know if that's going to last any length of time. I just don't know. You see, the key characteristic of the book of Judges was that the people forgot about Yahweh, stopped thinking about Yahweh, stopped worshiping Yahweh, forgot about the Ten Commandments, forgot about what Yahweh did for them, getting them out of Egypt, out of bondage. They forgot about Yahweh. And as a result, they suffered. And when they finally were oppressed enough, they'd cry out to Yahweh. They'd pray for relief. They'd cry for relief. Yahweh would hear their cries. And he would send them a judge to rescue them. Send them a superhero. And they would be rescued momentarily, temporarily. Usually it lasted the lifetime of the judge. And then what happens? They forget again. And they go through it again. So they're on this giant roller coaster, if you will, with some peaks and some definite valleys. And once in a while, a judge comes and saves the people. And so we have all these examples that we can tap into. Now, I'm going to have to turn the light on overhead. I apologize for that in advance. I don't like it much either. I do have to get better lighting in here, but I can't read the page unless I do this. And we ended with the millstone upon Abimelech's head. A woman dropped the millstone from the tower and killed him. And Abimelech was setting fire to these towers and to these people. And they burned each other just like was prophesied by one of the boys a little earlier, by one of his half-brothers. Abimelech was the offspring of the concubine. And the youngest boy, I think, got away. Out of the 70 he tried to kill so he could rule. Talk about a little bit of murder, huh? 70 brothers, half-brothers he killed. Judges chapter 10. And after Abimelech there arose to defend Israel Tola, the son of Puah, the son of Dodo, a man of Issachar, and he dwelt in Shamir in Mount Ephraim. It's not Shimar, but it just doesn't have an E on it. Shamir in Mount Ephraim. And he judged Israel for 23 years and died, and was buried in Shamir. And after him arose Jair, a Gileadite, and judged Israel for 22 years. And he had 30 sons that rode on 30 donkey colts, and they had 30 cities, which are called Havothajar unto this day, which are in the land of Gilead. And Jair died and was buried in Caman. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahweh. They forgot. And served Balaam and Ashtaroth and the gods of Syria and the gods of Zidon and the gods of Moab and the gods of the children of Ammon and the gods of the Philistines, and forsook Yahweh and served him not. Continuing verse 7. And the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of the Philistines and into the hands of the children of Ammon. And that year they vexed and oppressed the children of Israel. 18 years all the children of Israel were on the other side of the Jordan in the land of the Amorites, which is in Gilead. Moreover, the children of Ammon passed over the Jordan to fight against Judah, and against Benjamin, and against the house of Ephraim, so that Israel was greatly distressed. And the children of Israel cried unto Yahweh, saying, We have sinned against you, both because we have forsaken our God, and also served Baalim. And Yahweh said to the children of Israel, Did not I deliver you from the Egyptians, and from the Amorites, from the children of Ammon, and from the Philistines? And the Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, and the Moabites did oppress you, and you cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. Yet you have forsaken me, and served other gods. Therefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry to the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. And the children of Israel said to Yahweh, We have sinned. Do to us whatever seems good to you. Deliver us only, we pray you, this day. And they put away the strange gods from among them, and served Yahweh. And his soul was grieved for the misery of Israel. Then the children of Ammon were gathered together, and encamped in Gilead. And the children of Israel assembled themselves together, and encamped in Mizpeh. And the children, and the people, and the princes of Gilead said one to another, What man is he that will begin to fight against the children of Ammon? He shall be head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. Judges 11. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of a harlot. And Gilead begot Jephthah. And Gilead's wife bore him sons, and his sons grew up. And they thrust out Jephthah and said to him, You shall not inherit our father's house, for you are the son of a strange woman, of a harlot. And Jephthah fled from his brothers, and dwelt in the land of Tob. And there were gathered vain men to Jephthah, and went out with him. And it came to pass in the process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said to Jephthah, Come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, Do not you hate me? Not you hate me and expel me out of my father's house? And why have you come to me now when you are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, Therefore we turn again to you now, that you may go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. And Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, If you bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and Yahweh delivers them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, Yahweh be witness between us, if we do not so according to your words. And Jephthah went out with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before Yahweh in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What have you to do with me, that you have come against me to fight in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered to the messengers of Jephthah, Because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt, and because from Arnon even to Jabbok and unto the Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. And Jephthah sent messengers again to the king of the children of Ammon, and said to him, Thus says Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness into the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, Let me, I pray you, pass through your land. But the king of Edom would not listen thereto. And in like manner they sent to the king of Moab, and he would not consent, and Israel stayed in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness, and compassed the land of Edom, and the land of Moab, and came by the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the border of Moab, for Arnon was the border of Moab. And Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, the king of Heshbon. And Israel said to him, Let us pass, we pray you, through your land into my place. But Sihon trusted not Israel to pass through his coast, but Sihon gathered all his people together and pitched in Jahaz, and fought against Israel. And Yahweh God of Israel delivered Sihon and all his people into the hand of Israel, and they smote them. So Israel possessed all the land of the Amorites, the inhabitants of that country. And they possessed all the coast of the Amorites, from Arnon even to Jabbok, and from the wilderness even to the Jordan. So now Yahweh, God of Israel, has dispossessed the Amorites from before his people Israel. And should you possess it? Will not you possess that which Chemosh, your God, gives you to possess? So whomever Yahweh, our God, shall drive out from before us, them we will possess. And now are you anything better than Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them? While Israel dwelt in Heshbon and in her towns, and in Eror and in her towns, and in all the cities that are along by the coast of Arnon, for 300 years. Why therefore did you not recover them within that time? Therefore I have not sinned against you, but you do me wrong to war against me. Joshua the judge is judged this day between the children of Israel and the children of Ammon. However, the king of the children of Ammon listened not to the words of Jephthah, which he sent him. Then the Spirit of Yahweh came upon Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah of Gilead, and from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over to the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto Yahweh, and said, If you shall without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whatever comes forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be Yahweh's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So Jephthah passed over to the children of Ammon to fight against them, and Yahweh delivered them into his hands. And he smote them from Eror, even till you come to Minrith, even 20 cities, and to the plain of the vineyards, with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came to Mizpah to his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with tambourines and with dances, and she was his only child. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass when he saw her that he tore his clothes, and said, Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are one of them that troubles me, for I have opened my mouth unto Yahweh, and I cannot go back. And she said to him, My father, if you will open your mouth unto Yahweh, do to me according to that which has proceeded out of your mouth. For as much as Yahweh has taken vengeance for you of your enemies, even of the children of Ammon. And she said to her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains, and bewail my virginity, I and my companions. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions, and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned to her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed. And she knew no man. And it was a custom in Israel, that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah the Gilead 4 days in every year. I don't like this story very much. Here's a man, and basically what is implied here is he's going to sacrifice whatever comes out of his house. Verse 31, Judges 11. Then it shall be that whatever comes forth out of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be Yahweh's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. This is one of those stories that bugs me in the Bible. Did he burn his own daughter? Did he put her in the fire? Did he sacrifice his children? His child, his only child. And I do not see her name. It's not mentioned. This is one of those stories that I can't account for. I don't understand it. Why is it in here? It's a bothersome story. It really is. But what we know is that this fellow took his word very seriously, took Yahweh very seriously. He saved his people to his own hurt, his own woundedness. And we do have a previous story in which a man says, I have wounded a man to my own hurt. So we're going to go there. Why not? We're going to Genesis. And we're going to cover a book. We're going to cover a story that's partially in the Bible and partially out of the Bible. I believe this is going to be found in the Book of the Upright. I don't have that handy. I wish I had it handy because I never found it in there. I was told it was in there, though, but I don't remember it in there. It might be in there. So, we're looking now. Let's see. I want to turn back to the death of Cain. Remember that when Cain was being evicted from the garden, thrown out, he complained to Yahweh, where will I go? They'll kill me out there. So there were people outside the Garden of Eden. And Yahweh said he was going to put a mark on Cain. So whoever ever harmed Cain would be cursed sevenfold. And we have in here the death of Cain somewhat. So I'll bring that up to you because it's kind of an advanced lesson. It's not something that, you'll get very often. It's early in Genesis. Here I am in the latter parts, and I need to find this. Okay, this is way before Nimrod, and way before the flood, it should be. Okay. Genesis 4, Cain is angry. The end of Genesis 4, then men began to call on the name of Yahweh. That jumps out. Genesis chapter 5, verse 9, and Enos lived 90 years and begot Canaan. And I put in here not Canaanite. Canaan, Cainan. I do not understand why that name is here. Does that bridge the name of Cain to the land of Canaan or not? Okay, I'm still looking for this, and I'm not finding it. Apparently, it was after the flood. Well, I might not be able to find it. I just hope I could. Tower of Babel is after the flood. And we get some very important things in here in Genesis 10, in which we have other religions in the Tower of Babel. Okay. I am looking for a name which is repeated. You see, good and evil, there's some parallel constructions. You have similar names of the good and the bad. Lamech killed Cain in a hunting accident. He mistook him for a deer, and he was out hunting with his son. All right, it's got to be before here. There we go. It's dog-eared chapter, Genesis chapter 4. All right. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of his city after the name of his son Enoch. This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 17. Now continuing 18. And to Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mahulalel, and Mahulalel begot Methusael. Methusael begot Lamech. As I counted this up, I think this was the 7th generation from Cain. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. They got their names in the Bible. That's a big deal. The name of one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. And Adah bore Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal, and he was the father of all as handle the harp and organ, musicians. And Zillah, she also bore Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every craftsman in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. This is very important, because it looks like Noah got on the ark and got off the ark. She may have been the line through which the line of Cain continued after the flood. Genesis continuing, verse 23. And Lamech said to his wives Adah and Zillah, Hear my voice, you wives of Lamech. Listen to my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man for my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, truly Lamech 70 and 7-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and called his name Seth. For God, she said, has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of Yahweh. So there's a lot of similarity in these names. But Lamech said to his wife Abel, Adah, and Zillah, Hear my voice. I think what he was saying was, stop encroaching upon me. I believe that the 2 wives were encroaching upon their husband to kill him. Why? Because I have slain a man for my wounding. He mistook Cain for a deer and killed him. And he knew about the curse that was on Cain, 7 times 7. And so he claims to his wives that whoever harms him is going to be avenged 70 and sevenfold, 77 times. And he says here, and a young man for my hurt. We believe that was his son who was hunting with him, and we believe that when Cain, when he discovered he had killed the family patriarch, that he threw up his hands, just bam, like that, and we caught his hand, his fist caught his son's head in the head and killed him with one blow. So we believe that the women were going to kill him because he killed the family patriarch, and he killed one of the boys, one of their sons, and he got them to back off. Just an interesting thing that I would throw in there for you. How true is that? I don't rightfully know. It's partially in the Bible, though. It's partially in other biblical books. So I give it some credence because it's got a foundation in the Bible. We're going to stop right here. I think that's enough for today. Do like the video, do share it. Above all, make sure to get word out on these Bibles. If not, buy one yourself. And above all, read it. Sit down and read it for yourself. See what it says for yourself. The advantages of this Bible are I make fewer assumptions and error when I read this Bible. I think that's what the modern English helps me to do. It also has some words that are interpreted a little bit differently than the original King James. It corrects those errors. And so you'll see slight differences. I would like the publisher to come up with a parallel translation because there's so much research been done on the King James Bible that would open up this version of the Bible. Well, for one, it would set it on a level playing field with the original King James, and it would also allow us so that we could go to all the research that's been over centuries on the King James, from the King James Bible. Strong's Concordance, for example. But probably the most important thing is by doing this, I get to learn the name Yahweh. With this particular Bible, it becomes home. It becomes comfortable. It's not an awkward thing. And I'm sure that when when people first hear somebody calling about the name of Yahweh, they think, this is an odd dude. Why doesn't he just call him God? This is kind of a weird bird. What's he, Yahweh? What's that about? And the fact is that it's been suppressed. It was removed from the Bible about more than 2,300 years ago, 275 BC. Yeah, it's about 2,300 years ago. Ptolemy II removed it from the Bible, and we have it put back in. So that's an improvement. This is an improvement over the original King James. It does not have the these and thous in it. It's going to be a far more comfortable read for you. And the publisher is open to feedback. I've had questions on it, and it never fails to get it answered. I found some things I thought were errors didn't turn out to be errors. I still see some things that jump out at me and catch my eye. Anyway, if I find an error, I'm going to be reporting it, and you should do the same. So may Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh make you good. Thereby, when we're all good, maybe we can once again become great. Maybe America can become great. Like the Frenchman, the sociologist Alec de Tocqueville said after he came here and lived with us for 2 years. He said the reason America is great is because America is good. And America will cease to be great when America ceases to be good. I think we've gone past that. I think we ceased being good a while ago. And it's been a long, hard road. If you wanted me to give you a date, a couple of dates would be 1913, and then a century earlier than that, 1813. 1813 was when the Congress, on March the 4th of that year, sat the attorneys in Congress in violation of the original 13th Amendment, which has since been hidden from us. The original 13th Amendment deprived all Bar Association members of any and all citizenship in these states. It held for the separation of powers. People will say, well, it had to do with titles of nobility. No, it had to do with separation of powers because the attorneys got us into the War of 1812, and the people in our government did not want them to do that again. And look at how screwed up the country is today. All professions have contributed to this, including my own profession, psychology. The medical profession certainly has made marvelous contributions recently, and the attorneys have been making contributions all along. And unfortunately, we need their technical expertise, but unfortunately, they're misled and misguided. So, at all these institutions, people are brainwashed at all levels, including psychology. There's a lot of psychological experiments, a lot of literature that we're not allowed to even acknowledge exists. Because if we did, it would reveal how evil the bastards are that run this planet. The bastards are that own it and run it today. And the attorneys have not helped us very much because they've provided the technical expertise whereby these people oppress us. They've given legitimacy where there is no legitimacy to be had. They violated our Constitution. They violated common law. And the physicians, my God, what are they killing? 15,000 of us a day now in the country? Yeah, I think they've exceeded 15,000 people a day dead due to physician practices among those on Medicare alone. I don't know what these stats are. People don't seem to pay attention to being very exacting in their language and really defining things properly. May Yahweh bless you. May Yahweh make America good again.